Hello! Well, now it is June in my garden, and we're already starting to harvest some berries, and my cherries are ripe now, so I'm going to take you over just to show you what I've got. I have a serviceberry tree, and I looked it up, and actually people also call it Juneberries, and I've heard of a Juneberry before, but not a serviceberry, so that makes more sense. So these are ripe, and they turn from a red to a dark blue, and they have this little crown on it, just like a blueberry, sort of. So, and they taste similar to blueberries, but actually they're a little sweeter, a little better. So that's pretty exciting to show you. And down here, I thought I had a sour cherry tree, but actually, I looked it up online, what sour cherries were, and they were not. I'm like, those aren't sour cherries. Mine are more like orange and blush color with like a yellow flesh. So I looked it up, and actually I think they are Rainier cherries, and they were developed in Washington State in the 1950s. So when we built this house, those were already there and fully grown. I have no idea how they got out here. And you also have to have two trees, so one can be like a pollinator, like a male and female thing. So I don't know how, but we have these beautiful trees. So that is why it was such a big deal to chop down a cherry tree. So that was naughty because you need two to pollinate. So that was a big deal, George. Okay, so here I am at my Rainier cherry tree, presumably. And I don't know if you can see any berries on there. It's too bright for me to see what's going on. But there are tons of berries. The birds like them too. And then behind here is the other cherry tree, which is just absolutely enormous. So who knows how they got here, birds? Who knows? But it's quite amazing. And they are so delicious. They're really good in pies. So I already picked a gallon. But I think if I was to get a ladder and climb in there and really get the cherries down, I think I'd have a really good yield. Don't you just love finding stuff around your own property that you can eat? I'm going to make some jam with my Juneberries. I've never done this before. So come on, let's go inside and do that. Now we picked it looks like about a cup and a half of Juneberries. These are actually indigenous to North America, and the Native Americans used to dry them and put them in stews, they said. So it's pretty cool. And now I'm going to put a towel out in paper towels, and then I'm going to dry the berries on top of here. And all the towels just will help the water absorb better. And just try to put them out in a single layer so you get all the water off, because you don't want watery jelly. So now that my Juneberries are all dried off, I'm just going to take these in my towel like this. Pull these up. Like this. And I'm going to pour them into this bowl. And I'm just going to take a fork and I'm going to start smashing these. So this will take a little bit. Now these berries, they say, have a natural source of pectin, so I don't have to put any, I don't have to put very much pectin in here. And I'm just going to actually not put in any at all. I'm going to try it without. And I'm going to add sugar to this. And that also helps it to gel too. So I'm just going to try it just naturally. It's not going to hurt anything. So this is going to be freezer jam. Then you have to store it in the freezer, and then you have to store it in the refrigerator, because there isn't going to be any preservatives added to this. It's all natural. Now I think the more tart things are, the more flavor it's going to have. But jams and jellies do take quite a bit of sugar. So I'm just going to, it's not very much. So I don't really know how much to measure, but I'm going to be tasting it to make sure it's the right consistency. So it looks like I put about maybe 1/3 cup in there. And I can see already that it's really nice and thick. It's not very runny at all. It's just really beautiful wine color and purple color. Not anymore. So now I'm going to taste it. See what it's like. So that'll be interesting. Oh wow. It's almost like a grape, a cross between a blueberry and a grape. I think it's sweet. But let's see how thick that is. So I'm not even going to add any pectin to it or surgel because I think it's good just the way it is. Well, he says it's delicious, so he had a slurp of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my jars. But there's not a whole lot. I might be surprised at how much there is. I have several different kinds of jars to choose from. It's good to have a variety of jars on hand, all kinds of sizes. I always keep jars, especially these little, like this was a little lemon curd jar from Smucker's. And of course there's a mason jar, a ball jar. It's kind of big. It might be too big for this project, but I'm going to show you a cool thing to do with this. I keep all my candle containers too, especially if they're really cute with a lid, with an airtight lid like this one. I'll keep it. And of course, like ice cream, like topping from Smucker's. These are so cute, so I always keep them on hand. You never know if you're gonna make jam or something. These are really cute to put those in. So I think I'm gonna pick the candle jar. So I think the whole thing will fit in here. And then I'll put it in the freezer. So I think it's going to be funny. I'm going to smooth that in there. This is like way thicker than any strawberry or raspberry jam that I've ever made. Okay, there's my jar of Juneberry jam. Since this doesn't have any preservatives or anything in it, you can freeze it up to, I think, a year. And then when you get it out and unthaw it and start to eat it, keep it in the refrigerator, but don't keep it any longer than 2 weeks, I would say, just to make sure. I can't believe how thick that is, though. That's amazing. Since this is an airtight lid, I am putting it in the freezer, and to keep it from dehydrating, I'm going to put some plastic wrap on the top before I put my lid on. So I'll just take a little piece like this. And to get it to fit, I'm going to fold it. And I'm just going to put my lid right on top of that. Just like this. So there it is. So that'll make some nice jam for your toast or your muffins or your scones or something. Well, while I'm at it, I want to show you this cute little trick I discovered for the ball jars and the mason jars. You know how people put those little cute squares of cloth around the top of the jar? Well, I read somewhere that you can use cupcake wrappers, and I have all kinds of colors. I have white, but I guess this is a white one. So what I'm going to do is you take this little flat piece and I'll put it on top. Let's say I filled it with jam. Then I'm going to take the cupcake wrapper. I'm going to put it on there. And I'm going to put this wrapper on top. And there's like a little circle crease where you can sort of tell if it's even. You hold that on there and you screw this on top. And there you have a cute little wrapper thing on the top of that. Isn't that cute? And the best part about this is where you don't want to write on cloth, you can take your Sharpie and just write on top, like, let's say I have strawberry jam. I can write strawberry jam. And then I can put the date on it and everything before I store it in the freezer. Or if you're canning or whatever. And there you have it. Okay. So that's today's tutorial on how to make homemade Juneberry jam for the freezer. I hope you enjoy. See you later. Thanks for watching.